Just ahead on CTV News.
With many people expecting to travel this holiday season, it's important to stay safe and alert. I'm Katara Jones. I'll share some holiday travel safety tips with you coming up on CTV News.
A $3 million grant has just been presented to move the young people in arts forward in Prince George's County. I'm Bryce Parker. We'll have more coming up on CTV News.
Plus, Simon Buggs has our Monday sports page. Those stories and more on CTV News, starting now.
Good evening, this is CTV News for November 18th. I'm Michaela Newton. Thanks so much for joining us. Well, topping our news tonight, Maryland State Police responded to a shooting on I-95 this morning that shut down traffic on the northbound lanes. And according to police, the shooting took place around 4 a.m. When they arrived, they found the victim, 28-year-old Victor Garcia Rodriguez, suffering from gunshot wounds outside of his car near Route 198. Now, the investigation uncovered that an altercation took place between two individuals who knew each other, and the suspect allegedly fired 5 shots from their car before fleeing the scene. Well, every year, millions of Americans travel to their holiday destination, and whether you're hitting the roads or flying, it's important that you remain safe. CTV's Katara Jones is in Capitol Heights and has some tips that all travelers need to know.
That's right. This week is designated as Maryland Travel Safety Week, and residents are encouraged to practice safe travel habits. Now, this message is timely as many families are finalizing their holiday travel plans. The Maryland Department of Emergency Management says the big message for travelers this holiday season is know before you go. So what does that mean? Well, if you are planning to drive to your holiday destination, check the travel conditions before hitting the road. With many people deciding to drive, give yourself extra time to get to your final stop. Also, remember to always keep your eyes focused on the road ahead. Now, if you are planning to fly, travelers should check to see if their flight has been delayed or even canceled before heading to the airport. With the increased number of people at the airports across the country this holiday season, you want to make sure you give yourself enough time to get through security checkpoints. Now, here in Maryland, residents can get text alerts and tips related to threats and hazards in the state just by texting MD Ready to 211-631. Katara Jones, CTV News.
All right, Katara, thanks so much. Meanwhile, if you're planning to travel to your holiday destination using public transportation, officials recommend that travelers should check the bus or light rail schedule ahead of time. Also, keep jewelry and other valuables out of sight. And immigration attorneys and advocates are working to keep as many Maryland immigrants in the state as possible as time ticks down towards Donald Trump's second inauguration. Trump has promised to begin mass deportations on day one as president, and that's lit a fire for immigrants across the state to file immigration cases and get their documentation in order. Now, immigration lawyers say the hundreds of thousands of undocumented residents in Maryland are more protected from deportation if they have a case open in court. Future legislation could also affect immigrants in the state lawfully, like those under the DACA program or with temporary protected status. And fear is spreading through Maryland's Ukrainian community as Donald Trump returns to the White House. With Russia's war on Ukraine dragging into the third year, many worry Trump's past admiration for Vladimir Putin could jeopardize U.S. support for Ukraine. The state's 25,000-strong Ukrainian diaspora is rallying to help their homeland, sending aid and prayers while bracing for what comes next. Now, many people worry Trump may pressure Ukraine into a peace deal favoring Putin or cut vital U.S. support. Others advocate patience, saying to give Trump a chance. And nearly double the visas Maryland's seafood industry uses to hire temporary immigrant workers will be available in 2025. And more than 60,000 additional H-2B temporary non-agricultural worker visas will be released by the Department of Homeland Security, bringing the total to more than 100,000. In a statement, Maryland Senators Ben Cardin and Chris Van Hollen noted the importance of the H-2B visa program to Maryland's local seafood industry on the Eastern Shore. This type of visa could be at risk during the next Donald Trump administration, which promises to draw a hard line on immigration. And the Library of Congress, the world's largest library and Congress's research hub, is dealing with a cyber breach. Hackers accessed email communications between library staff and congressional offices from January to September. The library says it's mitigated the vulnerability and taken steps to prevent future attacks. And the FBI is investigating, but no details have been shared about the identity of the attackers. Congressional email accounts and the U.S. Copyright Office were not impacted, but the breach has raised concerns about sensitive information being compromised. And you're watching CTV News. I'm Michaela Newton. Still to come, another day, another E. coli outbreak. After the break, find out which item the CDC is pulling off the shelves and how it may affect your Thanksgiving menu.
We learn a lot from our families, like valuable life lessons passed down through the generations. Lessons that build healthy habits and skills, and a healthy awareness of potential dangers. Lessons like how to fix a leaky faucet or pipe so dripping water won't attract pests like cockroaches. And important things like gardening and caring for your yard by removing standing water, which will prevent disease-transmitting mosquitoes from thriving. How to clean up the crumbs when food spills happen, so your home won't become a magnet for mice or ants. You see, a pest-free home is a healthy home. And a healthy home is a happy home. When it comes to keeping our families safe, it's those little life lessons that make all the difference. For more information, visit pestworld.org.
Welcome back. An Oxon Hill man is sentenced to 7 years in prison for carjacking and carrying an unlicensed pistol. 31-year-old Dennis Vanison pled guilty to the charges back in August of 2023, and the carjacking took place on Wagner Street in May of that same year. Now, Vanison and an accomplice attacked the delivery driver, stole the driver's vehicle, and fled the scene. Vanison will also serve 3 years of supervised release. And Maryland schools will follow new guidelines related to active shooter drills. Beginning next academic school year, during drills, Maryland schools will no longer imitate gunfire or explosions. The guidelines will also require that parents be notified in advance when active shooter drills are taking place. Now, the Maryland Center for School Safety released the new rules and will be required to look into the psychological impact the drills have on students, parents, and faculty. And a grant from Congressman Glenn Ivey is helping to expand a local arts program here in Prince George's County. CTV's Bryce Parker is in Mount Rainier with more.
Before Creative Works, I had no idea what to do with my life. But once I joined, I knew that I wanted to be a filmmaker. I wanted to be a documentary maker. I want to be a producer.
This place will help you grow in ways that you never think that you could have.
Otto and August are just two of the young people who have been impacted by Creative Works and Joe's Movement Emporium. And today, an over $3 million grant has been presented to expand its programs.
I think it's going to help them provide that kind of training and help these kids, get the introduction to the work that they want to do, and allow them to hit the ground running when they go out to compete for these jobs.
It's really a joy to have the resources to anchor our program services, to pour into young people so that they can have more opportunities to be in the field you are in, mass communications.
Creative Works can now expand its pre-apprenticeship program and launch the new year-round registered apprenticeship program to service a community trying to break into an industry that has often forgot about them.
In so many creative industry jobs, a lot of women and people of color or folks from lower income households are concentrated at the lowest paying positions. We want to find a pathway for people to build into leadership positions, telling the story from their perspective, and make sure that they can access the resources to make it happen.
For kids like Otto, who immigrated from El Salvador at 8 and found direction through his love for cameras, to August, who discovered their life's purpose in the arts, the grant will help nurture the next generation of creative visionaries.
The arts is more than just being a painter or a photographer, but arts is the foundation of society. Without the arts, we would have nothing to build up off of.
And Joe's Movement Emporium is located in the heart of the Gateway Arts District, giving the perfect opportunity to expand youth art development here in Prince George's County. Reporting from Mount Rainier, I'm Bryce Parker, CTV News.
All right, Bryce, thanks so much. And if you would like to learn more about Creative Works or partner with the company, you can connect with a member of their team by calling 301-699-1819. And a ranking of the best public elementary schools in Maryland has been released, and one Prince George's school has made the top 10. Glenarden Woods Elementary School comes in at number 7. Coming in at number 1 was Westbrook Elementary in Bethesda. The ranking from the U.S. News and World Report focuses on state assessments of students proficient or above in math and reading. It also focuses on students' backgrounds and achievements in core subjects. And the CDC is warning of a potential E. coli outbreak tied to organic whole and baby carrots. The outbreak stems from a Grimm Way Farms recall where 39 people have been reported affected by the outbreak from 18 states. So far, 1 person has died. The recall covers organic whole carrots purchased between August 14th and October 13th of this year, and organic baby carrots purchased between September 11th and November 12th of this year. And still to come on CTV News, if you're in the mood for some Christmas carols, you won't have to wait much longer.
A holiday favorite is coming to Bowie State University. I'm Byron Scott. We'll have that story coming up.
Most hiring algorithms would scream me out.
Some bosses couldn't see me as a leader.
I've run this place for 20 years, but I still need to prove that I'm more than what you see on paper. I've been running code as long as I've been able to reach a keyboard.
This is what I do. It's second nature for me, coordinating 100 details at once.
It's the way my mind works. I have a very mechanical brain.
I sold them on my skills.
You gotta be so good they can't ignore you.
My magic is
analytics and empathy. That's how I'm getting clients. You have to have the confidence in yourself to show up and defy the odds.
I'm more than who I am on paper.
I never got a college degree. And today, I'm the CEO of my own company. People want to tell me I'm one in a million, when actually I'm one of millions. Stars are all around us. It's time for them to shine.
There are a lot of temptations facing young people today, like electronic cigarettes and skateboarding. Each vape pod can contain the same amount of nicotine as a pack of cigarettes. This can lead today's youth to a lifelong addiction and severe lung damage. Recall and consider the facts before making a poor decision.
The health class film guy isn't the best person to talk to your kid about vaping.
Got a few minutes?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
Part-time job, full-time hustle, all-time Shiro to all of us. You nurture, we listen. You teach, we thrive. You lift our spirits, but we've got to lay down the truth. It's time for you, our Shiro, to stretch for the stars. A free online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to start boosting your retirement savings today. Start saving more for retirement so you can feel prepared and live your life to the fullest. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
Marriott International is planning major layoffs impacting hundreds of workers, including many in the D.C. area. A notice from the state of Maryland reveals that 833 jobs will be cut in January of 2025. Marriott, a key employer in Montgomery County for over 60 years, has faced layoffs before, most notably in 2020 when it let go of 673 employees from its Bethesda headquarters. Now, despite the job cuts, Marriott continues to invest in the area, opening a $600 million new headquarters just 2 years ago, which earned top honors as Maryland's Economic Development Project of the Year. And bad news for those who like to travel on a budget. Spirit Airlines has filed for bankruptcy. The airline claims it hasn't had a profit since 2019 and said in a statement this morning that they're taking a proactive step to position the company for success. Now, Spirit wants customers to know that they can still book tickets on the airline, use credits and loyalty points as normal. Spirit is now the first major U.S. airline to file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy since American Airlines 13 years ago. And sports betting in Maryland hit a major milestone in October, generating over $593 million. The state will receive $7 million of that total, according to Maryland Lottery and Gaming. And since sports betting became legal in June of 2021, it's been booming, now available through 11 mobile apps and 12 retail locations across the state. And the Maryland Department of Transportation's MVA has launched a new free app, Mobile ID Check by MD, making it easy for businesses to verify age using mobile driver's licenses or ID cards, no extra hardware needed. Now, the app is already in use at Baltimore Washington International Airport for alcohol purchases, and businesses can download Mobile ID Check by MD for free from the Apple App Store or Google Play. And it works with any state-issued mobile ID or ID card and was developed by the MVA's IT team using global standards. And an annual tradition is set to kick off at Bowie State University. It's the annual community winter performance of Handel's Messiah. Our Byron Scott sat in on a rehearsal.
At Bowie State University, they are preparing for a time-honored tradition, a performance of Handel's Messiah, which was composed in 1741.
Handel's Messiah is an oratorio, that's the word for it. It's a simple word for a sacred opera, but without costumes, without scenery. And Handel, over 300 years ago, created this entire book of choruses and solos that he was inspired, and he created this in 30 days.
The work features Professor Brandon Felder and the Bowie State University Choir. They've been rehearsing for months.
It's challenging. You know, Handel's Messiah is not an easy piece. It's classical, and that in itself can be very challenging, but I like a challenge.
I always try to find a way to connect to the words that I am singing. Come Unto Him is such a touching piece. I love it so much. Singing it, it just warms my heart.
The BSU interpretation of Messiah will pay homage in part to the late Quincy Jones, who produced Messiah, a soulful rendition, back in 1992.
So he actually took what Handel created and kind of added jazz and pop and even gospel stylings and rhythmic stylings. And he did this in 1992 with a host of celebrities. And so we're going to be utilizing some of that as well.
I would say that there's times where we break vocal parts, like she'll sing the lower part and I'll sing high. But it's pretty normal singing with my twin sister. It's a longer piece, so seeing that it's an actual book, it's kind of shocking, but I'm excited to sing it.
The whole experience is good for if you're trying to learn singing and being better at singing. I recommend Messiah.
And Adina recommends you check it out. Messiah is set for Wednesday, December 11th at 7 p.m.
This year's Messiah, we have our special guest. We have I can't tell you who it is, but it's a special Grammy Award-winning jazz artist. You want to be here to hear this artist sing.
At Bowie State University, Byron Scott, CTV News.
They sound absolutely amazing. But for more information and tickets, go to bowiestate.edu and enter Messiah in the search bar. And Simon Buggs is here with our Monday Sports page. Simon, what do you have for us today?
Well, Michaela, this sports page is absolutely packed with some high school football news. Stay right there, sports fans. I have some highlights from you from the high school football playoffs. Stay right there.
I could be you, and you could be me for just 1 hour. If we could find a way to get inside each other's minds. If you could see you through my eyes instead of your ego, I believe you'd be surprised to see that you've been blind. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Yeah, before you abuse, criticize and accuse. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Well, before you abuse, criticize and accuse. Walk a mile in my shoes.
Jason,
Let's go see your room.
How was it? Is it good?
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut, the one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink, or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking, now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed, better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead, catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
What up, everybody? The wait is finally over. It's time for your Monday sports page. We begin with some Friday night highlights. The Wise High School football squad looked to put on a show for their fans as the Pumas took the field against Bowie in the playoffs. In the first quarter, Wise's defense came through in the Bulldogs' first offensive possession as plays like this nice tackle made by cornerback Jaden Drayton for a 1-yard loss caused a 3-and-out for Bowie. And when Wise's offense took the field for the first time, star running back DeCarlos Young showed me and the fans why he's one of the ones as he dodged and juked multiple Bulldogs on his way to getting a nice gain for his team. And the Pumas struck first as they got the first touchdown of the night, thanks to his pass from QB Eric Wedge to another running back in Peyton Nelson. When the Bulldogs offense took the field again, they continued to struggle against the Pumas D as he had another drive that ended with them being scoreless. And although Bowie ended the first quarter scoreless, their defense did play well in spurts as they had a nice sack courtesy of defensive end Brandon Nicholas. But later on in the quarter, the Pumas did score the second touchdown of the night as Young hit his head on the goalpost with this huge run as the first quarter came to a close. And Wise was up 14-0 on Bowie going into the second quarter. And in the second quarter, the Pumas continued to pour it on as their offense continued their onslaught. And they went into halftime with a commanding 29-0 lead on Bowie. And in the end, Bowie's season came to a close as Wise destroyed them, winning the game 50-0. Meanwhile, over in Greenbelt, the Eleanor Roosevelt Raiders hosted Flowers on Saturday afternoon. And Roosevelt was down 14-7 with a little under a minute to go in the second quarter. Jaguars running back Amonte Cox tried to punch one in before halftime as this angry run by him got his team to the 1-yard line. And the Jaguars were able to score another touchdown thanks to his QB sneak by Adrian Favors, and the team was up 21-7 on the Raiders at the half. The Jaguars struck first in the third quarter as Cox ran it in for a 6-yard touchdown to go up 28-7 on the Raiders. And the Raiders' offensive drive was short-lived afterwards as quarterback Kamal Ali threw a pick. But the Raiders' defense stopped Flowers and turned defense into offense as free safety Dante Whitaker blocked his field goal and Roosevelt returned it for a touchdown to get their second one of the day. And they were now down 28-14 on Flowers. Flowers' offense took the field soon afterwards and Cox continued to show off his big playability as he took it to the house for 80 yards. And the Jaguars extended their lead going up 35-14 on the Raiders. And in the fourth quarter, Flowers maintained their lead and advanced to the next round as they took down Bowie 42-20. There are more high school games around Maryland this weekend as Frederick Douglass took down Henry Lackey 22-13, Westlake shut out Potomac 28-0, and finally Gwynn Park fell to Huntingtown 35-0. In more news from the gridiron, the Baltimore Ravens took the field against a division foe in the Pittsburgh Steelers yesterday afternoon. The game was a close one as the Ravens were down, but scored a touchdown with a little over a minute left in the fourth quarter to make the score 18-16 in favor of the Steelers. The Ravens went for the 2-point conversion, but was unsuccessful and wound up losing the game 18-16. Quarterback Lamar Jackson has struggled against the Steelers as he is now 1-4 in his career following yesterday's loss. And the two-time MVP touched on what he felt like played a part in the team's loss versus them this time around.
I believe, we had a lot of slow starts. If anything, a lot of penalties, 3 turnovers, stuff like that we can't have in these type of games. This environment, knowing it's a divisional game, that's still a Raven rivalry. It's the one who have more possession of the ball and keeping it safe, and we didn't do a good job at that.
The Ravens will return to action against Justin Herbert and the Los Angeles Chargers on November 25th. Should be a good one. The Chargers are playing well. And wrapping up sports, the Washington Spirit punched their ticket to the National Women's Soccer League final this past weekend. Washington took down New York Gotham FC to advance to the championship round. The team will travel to Kansas City to take on the Orlando Pride on Saturday at 8 o'clock. Congrats, ladies. And that is your Monday sports page.
All right, Simon. Well, how do you feel about Lamar Jackson's MVP chances?
I think they're pretty solid. I definitely think he's one of the leaders so far this season. His team is currently second in the AFC North at 7-4. He's also second in the league in passing yards and in touchdowns. He has 25 touchdowns, and he's done a good job of taking care of the ball as well. He has three interceptions, and he's done all this while his defense has taken a step back this season, especially in the passing game, as they're ranked dead last in the league. So he has a shot, but he definitely has some competition. Josh Allen, Jared Goff, both quarterbacks are playing very well this current season. So we'll see what happens. But I think he has a shot at winning his third MVP. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. All right. Thanks so much.
No problem.
And let's get a look at our 3-day weather forecast. Tonight will be partly cloudy. Tomorrow is going to be partly sunny with a high of 62. Wednesday is going to be 67 degrees, and we have a 40 to 80% chance of showers. Thursday will be mostly sunny with a high of 52 and a low of 35. So pretty cold out there. And for our community calendar, the City of College Park is hosting a gingerbread house competition. Residents can enter gingerbread creations as an individual or group for a chance to win a $100 gift card to a College Park business of their choice. Applications can be submitted online until November 30th, and creations must be delivered to City Hall on Monday, December 2nd, between 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. But for the full list of rules or to sign up, visit collegeparkmd.com/gingerbread24. That's all the time we have. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Good night, everybody.
Mary, did you know that your baby boy would one day walk on water? Mary, did you know that your baby boy would save our sons and daughters? Did you know